Yo, hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Popcorn Rants. You know, it hasn't even been a week and we're already getting a little bit of Game of Thrones withdrawal. Come on man, just another hit bro, just another hit. I need my Game of Thrones fix. And to make matters worse, apparently the last two seasons, season 7 and 8, are going to be crammed into a measly 13 episodes. What? The creators of the show don't want to pad on and add unnecessary story? I disagree. Add as much Game of Thrones padding as you like. Make shit up. Make stuff up that's not in the book. Screw George R.R. Martin, okay? Keep this going. While probably none of those things are gonna happen, I am gonna give you 8 things that you might have missed in the finale of Game of Thrones Season 6 to hold you over until you get your Game of Thrones fix. Some of these things are going to be obvious, some of them not so obvious, some of them connected to the storyline, some of them not connected to the storyline. Let's just jump right into it. At number 8, The Winds of Winter, which is the finale of Game of Thrones Season 6, is the longest Game of Thrones episode ever, beating the previous episode, The Children, which clocked in at about 66 minutes, and The Winds of Winter clocked in at 69 minutes. Number 7. Now, you know the intro to Game of Thrones, you always see that orbiting kind of globe where it has all the House Sigils and it says Game of Thrones in it. That globe was actually in the finale of Season 6. When Sam visits the library in the Citadel, it's hanging right in the middle, looking all magical and stuff. So finally we get to see what a non-CGI Game of Thrones globe-like thing looks like. Number 6, speaking of the intro, did you notice that in the intro of this episode of Game of Thrones, the House Sigil for Winterfell has been replaced with the Direwolf, replacing House Bolton's sigil, which was there previously. Number 5, the House Sigils on Daenerys' fleet. Also, holy teleportation Varys. How did Varys go from Dorne to being on a ship with Daenerys so fast? Well, so this is what the world looks like in Game of Thrones. So this is Marine, so it's kind of safe to assume that Daenerys picked up Varys and her new allies, which were in her fleet, okay? So you could see 4 House Sigils. You could see House Martell, House Tyrell, and the Ironborn. Number 4, the intro to the finale. There were a couple of minutes where no dialogue was actually said. It was people putting on their clothes, Tommen putting on his crown, everybody getting ready to go for the trial. Now, while all of this seems pretty mundane stuff, there could actually be a deeper meaning to it. Now, in Game of Thrones Season 5, Episode 1, Cersei visits a witch and she actually gets this prophecy.
Will the king and I have children?
The king will have 20 children, and you will have 3.
That doesn't make sense.
Gold will be their crowns. Gold, their shrouds.
Now, when Tommen puts this on, it's sort of a sign that he's not gonna make it through the episode. See, if I was Cersei and I got this prophecy that all my children were gonna die in gold, I would pretty much ban them from wearing that color ever. But as it turns out, you can't escape prophecy. Number 3, this is not the first time King Tommen has actually died. Sound weird? Well, maybe it's because it has more to do with the production of Game of Thrones than it does with the actual story. So, the actor that plays King Tommen, which is known as Dean Charles Chapman, he actually played another character in Game of Thrones, Martin Lannister, in Season 3. He was one of the 2 Lannister boys that was held prisoner by Robb Stark. And in Season 3, Episode 5, Kissed by Fire, Martin Lannister was murdered by one of Robb Stark's bannermen. So yeah, so he died in Season 3, Episode 5, and also in the finale of Season 6. Now, I could be wrong, but I think this is the only actor that has died twice in Game of Thrones, not counting the hundreds of extras that died in the Battle of the Bastards. I'm sure they died repeatedly in those battles. But significant characters in the storyline that actually had lines, I can't think of anyone that died twice in the series. Can you think of anyone? If you can, leave a message in the comments below. Number 2, Jon Snow's name is not Jon Snow. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. We already know that, Shaz. R plus L equals J. Obviously, his name is Jon Targaryen. Aha! Well, a little bit of a twist there. Jon is not a Targaryen name, so therefore his name cannot be Jon Targaryen. In fact, in the Tower of Joy scene, Lyanna was whispering something to Ned, and she was saying his name is, and it becomes a little bit inaudible. Some Game of Thrones fans have tried to lip read it, they tried to turn up the volume, and now a lot of fans actually believe that Jon's first name is Jaehaerys, which was a previous Targaryen king. So Jon Snow's real name is Jaehaerys Targaryen. Number 1, who is Azor Ahai? Now there's a long debate. It could be Jon Snow, it could be Daenerys Targaryen. And there are indications that either one of them could actually be Azor Ahai. Now there's some criteria that you need to meet if you're going to be the prince that was promised. One of them is you need to be of Targaryen blood. Okay, both of them have that. You need to be born amid salt and smoke. Okay, so Daenerys probably has the edge in this case. However, in the finale of season 6, there's this scene where Ned Stark comes to the foot of the bed and places his sword there. Now, one of the other criteria to be Azor Ahai, or the prince that was promised, is you need to be born under a bleeding star. I actually believe that this is a very, very big hint from the creators that Azor Ahai is Jon Snow because of the way that it's actually filmed. The sword that was placed at the foot of the bed is known as Dawn, and of course you could see that it's covered in blood, so I think there's a reason why they filmed it that way. This is the bleeding star and Jon Snow is Azor Ahai. So that's it, guys. That is the 8 things that you maybe, possibly might have missed in the finale of Game of Thrones, and hopefully it holds you over for the next 10 minutes before you start craving more Game of Thrones episodes. So yeah, if you like the video, please hit like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I upload a video at least once every week. I talk about movies, TV shows, and everything entertainment right here on Popcorn Rants. Until next time, ciao! It's called Home, but besides the whole Jon Snow thing, what's interesting is actually Bran's storyline. So he is warging into the past now. He sees Hodor when he was still young. And about Netflix's new TV show, Stranger Things. Ooh, yeah, so they've already aced it with the poster. I'm looking at the poster and I already want to watch the show.